Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to achieve your financial goals for 2025. Avoid the rush and apply online at www.sknanb.com. Offer ends March 28th. Terms and conditions apply.
Whether it's a dress store on 4th Street, a snacket in Kayon, or a village grocery in St. Paul's, our small businesses play an important role in our economy. By supporting these businesses, you are helping to create or keep a job or two and to revive our economy. Support our local small businesses. Buy local and keep the doors to our small businesses open. This message is brought to you by ZIZ in support of our small businesses across the Federation.
Every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. ZIZ Radio goes into overdrive with the Magic Fingers Ronnie Rascal Mega Mix Show. You heard? Up your dial to 96.1 FM. It's the show that brings the vibes to your Saturday afternoon lime, bar hopping, party hangouts, or just driving around. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. You don't want to miss the Saturday Mega Mix Show. It's old school and new school remixes by yours truly, Magic Fingers, Ronnie Rascal, every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. ZIZ Radio. From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555. Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
The views and opinions expressed by participants and callers during this program are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its management, or sponsors. The station accepts no responsibility for statements made. Good morning and welcome to The Edge for Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining me on the program for today. This conversation is being carried live on ZIZ TV, Channel 5, as well as our social media platforms. Check us out on our YouTube page at ZIZ Online and via Facebook at ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation. When we open the phone lines, you may call us at 662-8674. In studio with me today are Doctors Randy Liebert and Trevor Christmas. Dr. Randy Liebert and Trevor Christmas. And they are here in celebration of Dental Health Week. And so that is the conversation for today. They're going to share the various activities and events that they have coming up in celebration of Dental Health Week and all of the what to know or what you should know about caring for your mouth or teeth. So good morning, Dr. Liebert, Dr. Christmas, and welcome to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Dr. Liebert?
Hey, good morning, Radio Land, TV Land. My name is Dr. Randy Liebert. I'm the Chief Dental Officer within the Ministry of Health. So this week we are celebrating Dental Health Week, which started on the 16th of March to the 21st of March. So in terms of the activities, on the 16th of March, the dental staff attended church service at the Rivers of Living Water Christian Center. Last evening, we made a presentation on HealthWise, and today we are here on The Edge. And also, we're making school visits today and tomorrow, where we have oral health presentation to kindergarten and grade 1 students. And also, we'll be giving packages of toothbrushes. So what we try to do is to instill and incorporate good oral hygiene practices from a tender age. On Thursday, that's World Oral Health Day. And in order to commemorate that day, we'll be having an outreach activity which we call dentistry in the community. So the dental department, the dental staff, along with the Ministry of Health, will be having a tent on Princess Street. Reason being is that with the flow of pedestrian traffic, we want to captivate as much persons as possible. So there we'll be doing like dental education and some oral screening. And for those persons who need dental treatment, we'll be doing the necessary referrals to the various dental clinics.
Mm-hmm. What is the theme for this year's celebration of Dental Health Week, and how does that speak to the work that the dental unit is doing currently?
So the theme for this year's celebration is a happy mouth is a happy mind, which means that if you don't have any pain, no swelling, no infection, which also affects your overall mental well-being. For example, somebody have a toothache all night, physically, they're not going to sleep, which means that you're going to wake up restless. You're going to say, why, this tooth is killing me all night, You come to them and say, I want it out now because I cannot go to another night with that, So it also, in terms of children and so, you tend to miss school. So there's a high rate of absenteeism in the school, and also from work, it affects your performance. Because you come to work in so much pain, you cannot focus. You just want your shift to done so you can actually go home. Mm-hmm. Or you say, why, boss, why? I'm willing, but I really, 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 really cannot come to work. You'll be like functioning like subpar on your job. Right? But the good thing about all this is that all these dental issues are preventable.
Mm-hmm. With regards to the World Oral Health Day outreach activity, do you have any other outreach activities or activities where you intend to go in the community or engage with people?
Well, in terms of the work plan for 2025, that is a part of thing. We tend to, we have plans of like going to PTAs, especially in the early childhood. Also, within the health centers themselves, we'll be starting a program with the antenatal clinics, because we want these expectant mothers to know from an early time frame how to actually take care of the baby's teeth, because there's a high incidence of what we call baby bottle caries from breastfeeding and actually giving the child their bottle with sugary substance, and then the food is left in the mouth or on the teeth, and then we're gonna develop what we call baby bottle caries. But later down we're gonna expound more into what is baby bottle caries and how we can prevent all of that.
Awesome. It is 11:13 and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Also in studio is Dr. Trevor Christmas. Dr. Christmas, what is your role with the dental health unit, and can you also shed some light on some of the activities coming up and the work of the unit as you celebrate Dental Health Week, that is?
Yes. Well, I'm a dentist. I'm stationed in Sandy Point at Paxton Medical Center. And there we do our regular procedures where we do cleaning, fillings, extractions on a daily basis. And this morning I just wanted to, highlight the importance of good oral health. When you think about good oral health, one of the first things that you think about is a smile. A smile makes quite a big difference in someone's life.
Right.
We were reminded some time ago by a colleague where he said when Marriott was coming at first, they had a recruitment drive, and one of the things that they said was, we hire smiles. They didn't say we hire the best cook, the best bartender, the best waitress. They said we hire smiles. And it just shows you the importance of a smile. Just imagine you come from miles away to St. Kitts for a vacation, and you might have the best chef that there is in the hotel, and you're having an activity where the chef is presenting in front of all of the guests, but he's not smiling. How would you feel? Would you feel like the chef is happy in what he's doing? Do you feel like I guess you would start questioning if he's competent in what he's doing. And it just shows the importance of a smile. Because if you have a happy chef presenting to you, doing something for you, you're going to feel more comfortable. If you have a party with everyone there, they're happy, smiling, and you have a chef who is supposed to be catering for everybody and he's not smiling, perhaps you might start feeling uncomfortable, thinking that maybe this man is not who he's supposed to be. So a smile is really important. A smile can make a difference in situations. I mean, a smile is universal. Sometimes you don't have to speak to someone, but just seeing them smile, it makes a big difference for you. And so when you think about a smile, you also have to recognize the importance of having good oral health, good oral hygiene. Because the opposite of having good oral hygiene is that it can destroy your smile. It can change your smile. Many persons don't smile because they're missing teeth, they have cavities, and they're self-conscious of it, so they don't want to smile. Right. So for this reason, we want to basically explain to you the importance of having good oral health.
Awesome. It's 11:16. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay with us.
In the sun or in the rain, life's a journey, joy and pain. But NCI's here day and night, always here for you, making it right. Always here for you. Always. With NCI, you've got a friend. Always here for you. Always. Right here till the very
At National Caribbean Insurance, you are covered and secure. We're your partner, your protector, your peace of mind. So for home, for health, for life, choose NCI because we're always here for you. Always.
Always here for you. Always. With NCI, you've got a friend. Always here for you. Always. Right here till the very end. Always here for you. Always. With NCI, you've got a friend. Always here for you. Always. Right here till the very end.
Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, and Antigua with seamless onward connections. Enjoy competitive fares and the best in travel. Book now at sunriseairways.net or with your travel agent. Sunrise Airways, One Caribbean. We fly to connect people. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sunrise Airways.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Hello and welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. For those of you who are just tuning in, I have in the studio with me Chief Dental Officer Dr. Randy Liebert, and accompanied by Dr. Trevor Christmas, and they're here to speak on the occasion of Dental Health Week. And they are having a number of activities, events to commemorate Dental Health Week. Dr. Liebert, you wanted to add to what Dr. Christmas stated earlier?
Yes, on the topic of smiling, if somebody holds back a smile, it impacts how they feel and how others perceive them. Mm-hmm. So smiling not only reflects happiness, but also enhances your emotional well-being. Like a healthy mouth gives you the confidence to smile more often, which depicts an improvement in your overall mood and mental state.
Awesome, thank you so much. We have a video that will be played, an audio, sorry. That will be played now with some details about the importance of oral hygiene.
Toothy here, ready to discover how oral health is connected to your mental well-being?
A happy mouth is a happy mind. With healthy habits, that's what you'll find. Brush and floss and you will see the joy in being cavity-free. With the proper dental care, let's spread happiness everywhere. Happiness everywhere. Happiness everywhere. Cut the sugar, have no doubt. You feel good inside and out. Happiness everywhere. Happiness everywhere.
Dr. Liebert, well, the video seems the audio seems self-explanatory, but can you go into details about the need for sharing this video and other platforms that it will be shared via?
Yes, within the Ministry of Health, we have the Health Promotion Unit that works hand in hand with the dental department. Mm-hmm. So what we try to do is create a lot more awareness of oral health, the state of oral health, and how we can improve to prevent. Prevention is the best way. Otherwise, we'd have to be spending a lot more money on curative procedures. So in terms of functionality, within the dental department, we have a school program where a school comes to the dental department every day. Right? So in that way, we create more impact. A school comes, so it's only the school owner is there, so we get a chance to do everything, examination, extraction, cleaning, whatever needs be. Just recently we concluded a dental sealant program. Dental sealants are used to cover the biting surfaces of the teeth, so that when children go to school, they're gonna eat sweets and everything, they don't get to brush. So we had to find a way of actually preventing the high incidence of dental caries. So these sealants cover your teeth, so when you eat the sweets, they don't get stuck to your teeth, and in that way, cavities are not formed. Right? And then there's also, we call the outpatient program, where every day in the afternoon you can walk in, get the examination done. If you need extractions, it's done right away. Any other treatment, we schedule you to come back and get the fillings, the cleanings, the root canals, x-rays, everything done. So with health promotion, because education is key, because it's about changing mindsets, changing habits to reduce the risk of having the high incidence of dental disorders.
Awesome. I want to get into oral hygiene now. So there is this, and I've always wanted to ask this question to a dentist. There is this perception or belief, or whatever you want to call it, that when you brush your teeth, so you use Colgate, that's the most famous or well-known toothpaste brand. So you brush your teeth. Should you? There are some people who would say you should leave the, what do you call it? Right? The
toothpaste.
The toothpaste. Yeah, you should leave the toothpaste in your mouth. You shouldn't wash it out right away, because the toothpaste has the fighting agents to help with your oral hygiene. I don't know if I've explained it properly. But in other words, when you finish brushing your teeth, you shouldn't rinse your mouth right away. Is that a perception? Is that true? Is that what is that about?
Okay, it depends. Well, the toothpaste normally, like the toothpaste, contains fluoride, and fluoride is used to help protect the teeth, make the teeth stronger. So it depends on what you're trying to treat also. So the idea of leaving the toothpaste in the mouth after brushing, right, is so that the fluoride ion, the tooth can get a chance to take up the fluoride ion to make tooth stronger. In a case where you have sensitive teeth, right, some persons say, okay, they use like Sensodyne and it doesn't work. That's because you brush your teeth and the same way you spit or wash, and you wash it right away. So you need to leave in the toothpaste in your mouth and the area, like for like an extended amount of time, so that the tooth itself have enough time to actually takes up the active ingredient. Make sense?
It does. And I as I said, I saw it in a video, and I was like, okay.
But in children, the toothpaste that is indicated for children don't normally contains fluoride, because naturally they don't really know the difference between spitting out and swallowing. So in the event that they actually swallow, right, like nothing gonna happen to the child because it doesn't contain like the fluoride. So that's why it's not in the child toothpaste in the event that they actually swallow, rather than like spitting out.
Dr. Christmas, you wanted to add something?
It's customary for us to basically rinse after you brush.
Right.
I mean, in some cases, in brushing, you're removing the remnants of food from your teeth. So sometimes, it's best to just rinse out whatsoever, because sometimes you go to brush as soon as you finish eating. So apart from just the toothpaste alone, you have the remains of food left in your mouth. So in cases like that, it's advisable that you rinse your mouth after you finish brushing.
Awesome. We're going to open the phone lines now and begin taking your calls at 662-8674. That is 662-8674. But in the meantime, I'd like for us to continue the conversation. Do you have any other details that you'd like to share with the general public as it relates to oral hygiene?
So on a daily basis, we see a number of patients, and also we try to do outreach programs. So as I mentioned before, like for example, a mother would bring a child to the dentist and say, oh, my child don't eat any sweets and everything, but then why their teeth are all decayed. So this is where you have a condition called early childhood caries or baby bottle caries. This stems from breastfeeding or giving bottle formula with like sugar content, and sometimes what happens is that the child is allowed to fall asleep with the bottle, so the food remains in their mouth. It's normal, everybody has bacteria in the mouth, but in order for a cavity to form, you need the food in the mouth for extended period of time, and a high content of bacteria build up to work on the food and break down the food. What normally happens is that the bacteria work on the carbohydrates, and as a result of the acid is produced, and then the acidic content is what actually works on the enamel of the teeth and cause the holes or cavities. Right, so we need to break that cycle. So it's about removing. When you brush or when you wipe the child mouth, you're doing two things. You're removing the food content, and you're also removing the high bacterial count. So there's no food in the mouth, and there's no high bacterial count to actually work on the food to break down the carbohydrates and acid and cause the cavities.
I want to ask about mouthwash in terms of which brand would you recommend? Is it wise to use mouthwash instead of brushing? What is your feeling and what is your advice as it relates to mouthwash and actually brushing your teeth? Which one first? Mouthwash first, brushing first. Which one is more? Well, I think brushing is more effective, but yeah, your take on it.
Okay, so brushing, the mechanical action of the bristles of the toothbrush, it takes the food and the biofilm. Biofilm is like a buildup of bacteria that adheres to your teeth. So the mechanical action of the toothbrush, it eliminates, it gets to pull those food off of your teeth. So just simply using mouthwash to replace brushing is not effective. You're not going to get that food off. Mouthwash kills bacteria, but you can't just use mouthwash and not brush your teeth, or else you're going to develop cavities. So it's important that you incorporate both of them. You brush and you also use the mouthwash, but flossing is also important. It is said that 30% of the food that is left after you eat can be found in between your teeth. So it's important that you floss also, because just the action of brushing doesn't eliminate all of the food. You have to get between those teeth. So
right.
The only way we could get between there is using a floss.
We have to also bear in mind there are different types of mouthwashes, right? So it depends on the condition that you're actually treating. The regular Listerine, those kind of mouthwash, they have they're alcohol based. So that's why when you use it, it actually burns you, right? And they also a condition called dry mouth xerostomia. So there's a special mouthwash for that condition, because if you suffer from dry mouth and then you go and use the Listerine that contains alcohol, the alcohol actually dries out your mouth even more, right? So there's a specially formulated mouthwash called biotin that actually contains xylitol, right? And then there's this for persons who have gingival inflammation, that's like bleeding gums, puffy and everything. There's a mouthwash that contains chlorhexidine. What happens is there are bacteria that can live under the gum line without oxygen, and they will be bacteria. So the chlorhexidine is the ingredient that is specific for those type of bacteria. You still need to come to the dentist and get your regular dental cleaning and everything, because we have to remove all the build up the debris from under the gum line, because when you brush, the bristles of the toothbrush don't get below the gum line.
Right.
So that's why you need the professional dental cleaning to clean below the gum line, break up all the food, and then that's how your gum's gonna heal, and then the mouthwash that contains chlorhexidine gonna kill those bacteria. So it depends on the condition and the type of mouthwash that is being used.
Awesome. It's 11:32. We'll take a break, and when we come back to the conversation, we will continue. Stay tuned.
Guess what? March Madness is here with ZIZ, celebrating 64 years strong where your brand belongs. Sankins and Nevis, it's time to level up your business with the biggest ad sale of the year. We've got it all at crazy discounted rates. Radio, TV, and social media. Want to make big sales? You need to be where the people are. And guess what? They're tuned into ZIZ, the #1 broadcast network in the Federation. Maximum reach, unbeatable deals, and 64 years of trusted media power. Don't get left behind. Secure your spot now before they're gone. Call our marketing team at
662-8203 or email sales@thelizenonline.com today. It's the Lizen March Madness. 64 years strong, where your brand belongs.
What a fantastic time to come to top class AC and refrigeration services. Yes, we're marching into the summer and you can get up to 25% off air conditioned units. Yes, up to 25% off. Don't forget at Top Class, we sell air condition and refrigeration parts, install and repair air conditioned units, AC mold removal and remediation. For more information, call us at 660-9899 or 663-5314 or visit us on the corner of Shaw Avenue and Keon Street in Bastard. So, get ready to beat the summer heat. Get up to 25% off air conditioned units at Top Class AC and Refrigeration Services.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
Welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. It's 11:35 and we are wrapping up the conversation. Before we do that, Dr. Christmas, you wanted to share some details about oral hygiene?
Okay, so persons are very much afraid of going to the dentist. If we look at the medical field, dentists would probably be the black sheep in that area because persons always say, I don't like to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
When they go to the dentist, they always giving you injections. And so because of that stigma that's associated with going to the dentist, many persons, they don't go to the dentist regularly. So you find when they come to the dentist is because there's some sort of problem. They have pain or something that they just couldn't avoid anymore. That's the reason why they come to the dentist. Mm-hmm. But this man I want to say to you is that you should visit the dentist regularly, at least every 6 months for cleanings, for checkups. A visit to the dentist is not always a painful visit. So it's recommended that you visit the dentist regularly, and for those of you who have children, get them familiar with the dentist. Mm-hmm. What we notice is that sometimes parents, they develop a phobia and they pass this phobia down to the children. So you could find a grandmother is afraid of the dentist, the daughter is afraid of the dentist, and the grandchildren are afraid of the dentist. I've seen that. Mm-hmm. So it's important that regular dental visits, just like how you think about going to the doctor for regular doctor checkups. Mm-hmm. The same way I'm recommending that you visit the dentist regularly to avoid these problems. And sometimes some of these fears, they're unfounded. I mean, what I find happens sometimes is that parents, sometimes they threaten their children with taking them to the dentist to do different things. And because of that, the children, they start associating going to the dentist with something that's bad.
Right.
You know, when you're small sometimes and you do something naughty, your mother might say, I'm going to take you by the station, I'm going to call the police for you. Mm-hmm. But there are persons who also say, I'm going to take you to the dentist. And that just instills fear inside of the children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So, one of the myths I want to disband is pregnancy and coming to the dentist. You know, normally when a female is pregnant, they come and say, they say, I can't come dentist because I'm pregnant and then kind of thing. You should actually come to the dentist when you're pregnant because of the different hormonal changes. You find that you might go through a lot of different effects, and then you're at a higher risk of dental disorders, right? So what happens is that the issue is within the first trimester, of pregnancy, because the baby is forming and everything, you have to be like careful of the type of medication that you prescribe. Well, it's not that any dental work can't be done. Like you should think, because having bad oral hygiene while you're pregnant is actually a risk factor for low birth weight of the child, because the mother cannot eat properly. It means that the child is not getting all the nutrients and developing properly. Right? And it's also a risk factor for preterm delivery. Because the body cannot no longer like withstand all effects of pregnancy, you tend to deliver sooner than the 9 months. So we should, like, being pregnant should be a driving force for you to actually come and get a dental checkup, so we can eliminate all issues, so you can have a normal pregnancy.
Thank you so much for speaking to that, because I know a lot of people who have said that they're pregnant so they can't go to the dentist. And the phobia you spoke about earlier, it's a real thing. People, and it's been passed down generation to generation. Everybody's afraid of going to the dentist, and they put the dentist in that category like a form of punishment. Let's look at the activities one more time, and then we'll wrap up.
Yes, so to highlight the week of activities, we really want to invite, I encourage everyone to come on out on Thursday, World Our Health Day, where we're having the outreach activity of dentistry in the community. So we'll be on Princess Street. There we're going to have educational materials. Any questions that you have will be answered. And we're going to be doing some screenings. So those persons who may need cleaning, filling, extractions, we direct you to which dental clinic that you can go to get these services rendered.
And the good thing about that is that we're outside of the physical environment of the dentist. So if you're fearful of going to the dentist, going into the building, maybe you can just pass by and see the dentist in a different environment. Maybe you might see them differently. So you might be encouraged to at least be motivated to go to the dental clinic to get some sort of treatment done.
Awesome. It's 11:40 and you've been listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. Joining us on the program today were Dr. Randy Liebert and Dr. Trevor Christmas of the Dental Unit in celebration of Dental Health Week. And they are having a number of activities, and they also used the opportunity to share some information or some really useful information as it relates to our oral hygiene. We'll have a video played now, and then we'll bring this conversation to a close on audio.
Toothy here, ready to discover how oral health is connected to your mental well-being?
A happy mouth is a happy mind. With healthy habits, that's what you'll find. Brush and floss and you will see the joy in being cavity-free. With the proper dental care, let's spread happiness everywhere. Happiness everywhere. Happiness everywhere. Cut the sugar, have no doubt. You feel good inside and out. Happiness everywhere. Happiness everywhere.
Hello and welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. I want to bring a new development to the conversation that we had yesterday. So a recent development adds a new layer to the conversation that we had yesterday. A spokesperson for the U.S. State Department has clarified that, quote, there is no list. End quote. I was listening to the U.S. State Department's press briefing for March 17th, 2025, and their spokesperson, I think her name is Tammy Bruce, she said, and I'm quoting her, there is no list. What has been circulating is not an official actionable document, but rather part of an ongoing review. So there's no list, but there is a review under a presidential executive order aimed at strengthening U.S. border security and visa policies. So there is no list, but there is a review. And I asked the question, well, where did the New York Times get this list? Perhaps what they got was a review that has not been categorized as a list. But there is no list according to the U.S. State Department. And I have the clip here from the spokesperson speaking at the press briefing on yesterday.
First of all, there is no list. What people are looking at over these last several days is not a list that exists here that is being acted on. There is a review, as we know through the president's executive order, for us to look at the nature of what's going to help keep America safer in dealing with the issue of visas and who's allowed into the country. But what has been touted as something that is an item through the State Department, it just simply isn't the case. So the premise, I have to say, I certainly can't speak to because it's not accurate. When it comes to the nature of Afghanistan and those who've helped us, the arrangements we've made already in the past, getting as many people from that conflict here, certainly those who have assisted us and worked with us, that's been a policy and a dynamic that we've worked on from the, certainly even the previous administration, working to try to get that happening. So that's not something that is certainly I can talk about regarding something that doesn't exist, but certainly when that review is done, we'll have something that we can discuss.
Okay, then let me ask you also about your view, the Secretary's view.
That was a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, Tammy Bruce, speaking at the press briefing on Monday. A question was posed by a journalist about this list that included several countries for possible visa ban. St. Kitts and Nevis had been listed in the yellow section of that list, stating that we have 90 days. So, unpacking what this means, the executive order in question mandates a comprehensive review of global visa practices to identify potential risks and enhance U.S. national security. So, there is no list, but according to an executive order signed by President Donald Trump, they're going to review global visa practices in the best interest of national security for the United States. In this context, countries around the world, not just St. Kitts and Nevis, are being assessed to determine whether current entry policies align with the evolving security priorities of the United States. In theory, this review is not inherently negative. It could be seen as a routine measure in maintaining robust border policies. However, the leak of a so-called draft list to a major publication like the New York Times has created a climate of uncertainty and concern. Did the New York Times get it wrong? Were they tipped off? Do they know something that the rest of us don't? Those are the questions that remain. But it is not something for us to completely ignore, but we must bring the information from the State Department. They have said clearly that they cannot speak to something that does not exist. There is no list. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls at 662-8674. That is 662-8674. Call us and lend your voice to the conversation at hand. But it leaves us with further questions. So if no formal list exists, how did countries get drawn into this conversation, including us here in the region? Was our inclusion speculative? Was it based on outdated information? Or is it, as some people suggest, the result of heightened international scrutiny of countries, or of countries that have CBI programs? Despite the government's continuous efforts to strengthen the program's integrity, introducing more stringent vetting procedures and aligning with global best practices, the CBI remains under the microscope, and that is the truth. So St. Kitts and Nevis, as well as other countries in the Caribbean region that administer CBI programs, have been doing what is necessary, or have been trying to improve the transparency and accountability within their various CBI programs. But the fact of the matter is, these programs remain under the microscope, and they are susceptible to international scrutiny and international politics. Hence the reason why, for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the administration has taken the approach to not so much focus on, or having the economy totally reliant on CBI, because you realize the program is very fragile. And so instead of putting all of your eggs in one basket, that being CBI and or tourism, you tap into other areas of the economy. And this is something that is welcome. This is something that has to happen, because, again, having more than 60% or more than 50% of your revenue coming from this program is not wise. It is not wise, and it is not something that we should rejoice and say, well, yes, we're doing well because our CBA program is doing well. Understanding the fragility of the program and the fact that in some cases you just can't predict what is going to happen. This proposed so-called draft list, nobody even saw this proposed so-called draft list, or even with the executive order to review the global entry policies for border security purposes. The fact of the matter is, these things are unpredictable, they are unsustainable, and we should not be putting the economy to rest on a program like the Citizenship by Investment Program, or any one sector that is so fragile. It's 11:52. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll begin to wrap up the conversation here on The Edge. Stay with us.
Sunrise Airways is connecting the OECS. Fly to and from Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, St. Kitts, and Antigua with seamless onward connections. Enjoy competitive fares and the best in travel. Book now at sunriseairways.net or with your travel agent. Sunrise Airways, One Caribbean. We fly to connect people. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sunrise Airways.
What a fantastic time to come to top class AC and refrigeration services. Yes, we're marching into the summer, and you can get up to 25% off air conditioned units. Yes, up to 25% off. Don't forget at Top Class, we sell air conditioned and refrigeration parts, install and repair air conditioned units, AC mold removal and remediation. For more information, call us at 660-9899 or 663-5314. Or visit us on the corner of Shaw Avenue and Keon Street in Pastor. So, get ready to beat the summer heat. Get up to 25% off air-conditioned units at top-class AC and refrigeration services.
Welcome back to The Edge. We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Okay, I think we lost that caller. It is 11:55 and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius. So for those of you who are just tuning in, we had representatives from the dental health, or from the dental unit, speaking on Dental Health Week, and I just shared some details from the U.S. State Department. We have a call on the line. We'll take this call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, you keep saying you don't want to put all the eggs in one bag. You won't want the CBI to be.
Sorry, caller. I'm getting a bit of an echo. Are you near your radio or something?
Contributing.
Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm getting a bit of an echo. I'm not hearing you clearly.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, you say you don't want to put all the eggs in one basket, and you don't think that CBI should be contributing 50% of the revenue. No, what you guys intend to do? Reduce the revenue to come down so that it would be only contributing, let's say, 30% to the other revenue contributors. Or leave it to be making that and bring up the other contributor. In other words, example, say you used to make $400,000 of CBI. You want to bring it down to $200,000 now so that it will be equivalent to another $200,000 what the other contributors be making. Or leave it where you want to be making $400,000, not $500,000 or $600,000.
But just to
and bring up, wait, and then make sure the other departments, the revenue comes up to match the $400,000 or $500,000 that the CBI is making. So then you find it will be at least more balanced. Not trying to reduce the CBI. I keep hearing you saying that all the time, and that sounds to me so ridiculous.
All right. Yeah. Just for clarity's sake, right? There is not. For clarity's sake, there is not an attempt to reduce the CBI. I think you have clearly misunderstood what I have been saying. There is not an attempt to reduce the CBI. So today we're making 5. Let us aim to make 2. That is not what is happening. That makes absolutely no sense. What is happening is we're currently making 5. We want to make 6 from agriculture. We want to make 7 from some other sector. So there is no attempt at all. I'm not even sure you got that from, There is no attempt at all to look at or target a lower figure than what we're currently making. What is happening now is reforms in the best interest of transparency and accountability for the CBI program. And the country is moving to a sustainable island state agenda where they are investing in other areas of the economy so as not to have all of our eggs in one basket. I'm not sure where you got this thing from where anybody is trying to target $300 million instead of $500 million. It is simple. If we're making $500 million today, then we want to make $600 million from another sector. I'm not sure where you got that from. So for clarity, and we're not taking any more calls because it's literally 12 o'clock. But just for clarity's sake, there's no attempt, at least I know, to target a lower figure than what we're getting now. What is happening now is the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is tapping into other areas of the economy sustainably so that all of our eggs are not in one basket, that being the CBI program, where more than 50 or close to 60% of the economy is heavily reliant on. You've been listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I've been your host, Devonne Cornelius. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yo, I know my fault. My fault.
Hey there, let's face it, life happens. Bills pile up, surprises pops up, and sometimes staying on top of payments feels impossible.
But don't stress, we've got you. Our debt evaluation and restructuring program is here to help you breathe easier.
Here's the deal, we'll work with you to restructure our finance.
In the top stories, St. Kitts and Nevis delegation attends 76th OECS meeting in St. Martin. New Trinidad and Tobago